Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
Matterhorn Matt presents Matterhorn Mondays. Hello everybody, welcome to episode 61 of Matterhorn Mondays. I'm your host, Matterhorn Matt.
And I'm Alex the Historian.
And today we are joined by Kris from LMGVids.
That's great.
Yeah,
Okay.
Today we are joined by Kris from LMGVids. I wanted to take a minute and say hello to the listening audience at home.
Hello, everyone sitting at home.
Yeah, we got a great stream for you guys. I guess before we get started, I want to make a couple announcements for everybody. I forgot to mention this last week, but for those of you guys who do not use Apple products, the podcast, Matterhorn Mondays that is, the podcast is now on Spotify. The link is in the description below. If you guys would like to listen on Spotify, if you prefer Spotify over, I don't know, Apple Podcasts, whatever it's called, you guys can check that out. Like I said, link is in the description below. And I also have another special announcement. I'm not sure if you guys remember that song I made for the Bugs Land official closing. That is now on Spotify and in the iTunes store as well. Link is in the description if you guys would like to listen to that. It's way past the Bugs Land closing date, but if you guys would like to download it, save it for when you're walking past Bugs Land, you can play it as sort of a tribute to our fallen land, if you will. But yeah, link to that song is in the description below. Let's see. I'm still deciding on dates for the meetup. I think the dates that we were looking at was either the 3rd or the 4th. So yeah, I don't know which date is good. I'm gonna make a video announcing it later this week. So then I guess we can all, whoever's gonna come can write in the comments, of course, and say which days you're free that week if you'd like to come. But yeah, the 3rd or the 4th, I believe, are the days we're leaning towards. So you guys can comment here on the podcast if you'd like to let us know when you're free then. I don't really know how to like schedule these kinds of things. I don't even remember how we did it last time. I think I just put up a video and then we just picked a date, probably.
That was exactly how you did it.
That's exactly okay. We should do that again. Well, we'll figure it out. By next week's podcast, you guys will know the official date for the meetup in December. But again, like I said, I'm gonna be in the parks December 3rd through the 7th. So if you guys can sort of sort it out in the comments, whichever date everyone's free, we'll try to get as many people as possible. Try to get some of the people from last time back as well. That'd be really cool. And yeah,
don't worry, people. I will be there. You know, I'm the star of the show, so you know I have to be there. So
Alex will of course be there. Maybe, like I said last week, Second Star will come. I'll ask him too. I know you guys are dying to see what he looks like and to relearn his name because I forgot his name, sadly.
His name is the guy from Second Star. Come on. It's not that hard to remember.
Yeah, that's right. It's the guy from Second Star. Kris might probably be there as well. We'll see. We'd also like to go into the parks with all you guys and sort of get on some rides. We didn't get to do that last time, but this time, hopefully, we will get to do that. Let's see. I think that's it for announcements. Oh, one other announcement. About the polls that I put up last week about changing the name for the podcast. I just wanted to sort of read out the results of that. So, the poll on my Twitter. Let's see. I had 3 options. Option 1 was news from the peak. Option 2 was keep Matterhorn Mondays, and option 3 was other, and to reply with your answer. But the majority, 79% of you said to keep Matterhorn Mondays. 15% said to switch to news from the peak, and 6% chose other, but did not reply with their suggestion. So It looks like we're gonna be. It looks like we're gonna be keeping Matterhorn Mondays.
I think 6% of the audience wanted to see the podcast renamed to Other.
Other.
Straight
Oh,
Other.
that's
I see,
true.
I see.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 61 of Other. But and there was another poll, I believe, on the Discord, but it's sort of the same results. Everybody voted to keep Matterhorn Mondays. So I guess that's what we'll be doing for the time being, unless you guys can come up with a more creative name. I'm not very creative when it comes to this kind of stuff, so if you guys would like to think of something, or yeah, just think of something, type it in the comments if you'd like. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for the announcements. Let's get right into this week's news.
Wait. How did you perfectly talk and tweet at the same time?
Oh,
you were talking, and then like you didn't even look down at your phone. You're just talking straight to the camera. All of a sudden, yeah, I got a tweet just right now saying, how do you even do that? That's like black magic.
I had the tweet pre-written out, and I just clicked send on my computer.
Oh, okay.
It's not like I typed it all while I was talking to everybody.
Right.
That would be crazy.
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute.
But thank you, Kris, for alerting everybody. Yeah, we're live right now. Yeah, I guess we'll get right into this week's news from. I'll never have this thing ready. I'm so sorry. All right, let's get right into this week's news from the peak. Oh, I messed that up. We got to do that again. I messed that up 100%.
Oh,
okay,
boy.
Here we go.
Oh,
let's get
jeez.
right into this week's news from the peak.
We now present to you news from the peak.
All right.
Somebody put the cross out thing on your reacted on Discord to your thing.
Wait, on
Discord.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry. I'm just looking. All right, sorry. Anyways, yeah. Continue on with your show.
Big thanks to Jeremy again for recording those real neat little voiceovers, sound bites. I don't really know what to call them. I guess
sound clips.
Yeah, that's another good name. But yeah, big thanks to Jeremy for doing that. We have more coming up later in the show. I don't think we're gonna have any spooky stories this week, guys. We're all spooked out from Halloween. Everybody already sent in all their scary stories, but next week we might have more. Also, no words with Walt this week, sadly. That will be returning next week as well. Yeah, I know you guys are sad. No words with Walt this week, but yeah, next week, words with Walt. We'll be back with all those cool new transitions that I'm working on, like the one you just saw. But all right, our first bit of Disney news: the Pixar lamp. My voice cracked. That always happens at least once in the show. The Pixar lamp is now in place at Pixar Pier. For those of you wondering, where the heck isn't it called, like the Luxo lamp or something? Or I don't think they're allowed to say.
Luxo Junior.
I don't think they're allowed to say.
Luxo lamp is like, really?
Yeah,
They're not allowed to. They're not to have like it written in words at the park, but they can verbally call it the Luxo lamp. They just can't. They can't like type it out anywhere in the park, or else they have to pay royalties.
Oh, to Pixar or something?
No, to Luxo, the lamp company.
Yeah.
There's a lamp company, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Luxo is like the original lamp company that.
I didn't even know that. Oh, sucks for them.
Tisk tisk tisk. But
yeah.
But yeah, for those of you guys wondering where the heck that lamp was this whole time, Pixar Pier opened a few months ago. I don't know what the heck it's doing. Just showing up now. It's pretty cute though. I'll give them that. Here's an image of it. It moves around. I think it like looks its head around. I don't have a video currently. I just have this image.
I'm watching a video of it right now.
It is so bad.
Is it?
It is so bad. It is really bad. Oh
yeah.
My God. It has not compensation. I thought it was called compliance. That's the thing when they have new animatronics where when they reach the end of something, they kind of slow down to stop the shaking. You'll see it when it literally moves from side to side. It stops. It starts like going back and forth like a swinging door. It's just like it's really bad. It's really noticeable too.
Well, if you don't mind,
it looks, yeah.
sending the link over so we can show everybody.
Here.
I want to see how bad it is.
Look at I'm gonna send it in just the regular chat. There you go. Look at that.
I got a link too.
Look at 136, and you'll see it. It just literally shakes back and forth really badly.
Wait, where did you send
really
it?
Noticeable. In the actual YouTube chat. I'll send it in the Discord.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Fine.
That'll work. I can't see it anywhere.
Yeah, this animatronic only has 2 functions. It's got a head tilt, and then it's got a swivel, so it moves like just swivels left or right.
I kind of expected that because it's an outdoor animatronic, so you can't have too many moving parts.
Yeah, but does anybody here in the video remember at Hollywood Studios Park there used to be a fully animated Luxo ramp?
That's why the reason why they stopped doing it was it broke down so often because it was constantly exposed to the elements.
Here, let me
that
take
was
a
the
look
problem
at this.
with it. 136 is where the worst one happens.
Oh no way! That's the exact video I was just looking at.
Yeah, that's the first one. 136. 136.
136.
That is not 136. Oh, right there. You see it shake right there. That's not 136.
I mean, it's not that from this part. Okay, let's skip to the part you guys are talking about. Oh wow, that's just awesome. Wow. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
It's just sort of like staring down at everybody.
Oh, I love it. I love it how much it shakes. It looks like a yeah, I know. Beautiful. This is what I was exactly expecting. I was like, Disney is gonna do a terrible job at this. I was like, nope. I kept telling myself, nope, it's not gonna happen. Disney can actually do it. But then,
I mean, if it didn't, it'd be cool. It'd be better if it didn't move. Or I mean, it can't be that hard to like.
No,
make it...
I wish. No, I wish they just made the head move. That's it. Because it's very simple. The head moves, very little movements. But having it rotate like that and just because you have to be very small, you have to have motors that are very small into the body that are covered up from the elements. So they can't be too big to to fully stop the animatronic before. So like.
I don't know. I think honestly, I think the rotating mechanism could be put into the actual base instead of up inside the animatronic. You know what I mean? Like it could be built into the base and just, the motor is completely hidden inside the Pixar Pier sign.
Mm-hmm.
That's true too. That's true too.
Okay. Well, a big thanks to the Laughing Place on YouTube for providing that video to us. But anyways.
What a great name for the channel that posted that video, huh? it's like the perfect thing to laugh at. Is that
ironic.
But yeah, I mean, it's whatever. We knew it was gonna be terrible. It is Pixar Pier after all. There's still no Bing Bong. Is my doorbell ringing? I think my door was ringing.
Bing bong.
But there's still no Jesse's Critter Carousel. There's still no Inside Out attraction. Pixar Pier is it's just a big mess. But our second bit of Disney news comes to us today from DSNYnewscast.com. Apparently Captain Marvel will be joining the Avengers for Marvel's Summer of Heroes in Disneyland Paris in 2019. I'm sure all of you remember whatever the heck the Summer of Heroes was in a California Adventure a couple years ago. Apparently that was a big hit in Disneyland Paris. They're going to be having it again this year. It will be returning March 23rd to June 16th of 2019. Of course, with all the originals, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, and Spider-Man, and of course Captain Marvel will be joining them. I guess that means the Captain Marvel movie is gonna be good. I don't know. But our last bit of Disney news comes to us from this is a really interesting bit of news. A rehired James Gunn billboard appears just a few miles away from Disneyland. Now this is interesting. I'm sure all of you guys remember us talking about, or have probably even seen like on the news on TV, of the firing of director James Gunn from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. because of some old tweets he put out. I remember when I first found out about that. I was on It's a Small World with Kris, actually. I was on It's a Small World with you, and
Really?
yeah, and Mark showed us the link. He showed us
Oh, that's right. I remember that. That's right.
yeah, it was.
That's
I
right.
was really confused, but anyways, for those of you guys who want James Hunn to be rehired, there it is. Your billboard is here. It's like 6 or 5 months late, but I'm sure it'll help in some way. It definitely won't make things worse. But yeah, I mean, it's what you'd expect. It's just a rehired James Gunn for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 billboard. I wonder how much that costs. That'd be kind of weird.
It costs like I think like 1,000 a day, something like that. 1,000, 2,000 a day, depending on how
Jeez.
long you want to show the ad, or I think because that hard to say because it's an electronic billboard, so it's cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
So like for the ones that have to actually paint the signs on there, costs a lot more. It's not fake, Mateo. Don't worry. If you look at the websites, you scroll down, you'll see it's not fake.
I'm
But
gonna
yeah,
find an
just,
image just to show you guys, because the link that I have didn't provide an image of it for some reason. It does kind of look fake, I guess.
It does look fake, but then there's a picture I'm looking at right here, and you can definitely tell it's a screen poster, and it's definitely not fake.
Okay.
Unless someone is really good with Photoshop.
So there's that. I mean, yeah, I didn't even realize it was an electronic one, but rehire James Gunn. I don't know what kind of viruses you'll get if you go to that website, so I'd recommend staying away from that website. I might even just blur it out, just so you guys don't get anything bad happen to your computer. But Kris will go for us.
I'm there. Save the Galaxy / hashtag rehire James Gunn. Sign the petition. Donate to the Billboard campaign. Who James Gunn? Okay, and there's a whole giant paragraph.
Jeez. So just don't go to the website, guys. It's not worth it. It's probably just a bunch of lame stuff that you already knew. Disney's not going to rehire him anyways. I believe.
It's a GoFundMe for the billboard.
Oh wait, it's a GoFundMe for the billboard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that. What? Okay, that's just don't go to the website, you guys. James Gunn's not going to get rehired.
Nope.
It was also announced that he was going to direct Suicide Squad 2 for DC, so any hope of him coming back to Marvel was sort of just thrown out the window when that was announced. But
yeah, that movie definitely needs a new director because the last director was absolute.
Mm-hmm.
Not good. Absolute not good.
Yeah, I agree. But let's see. There is. Well, that's it for the news today. But there are a couple things that I want to show you guys before we get into today's main topics. Now, this was provided to me on Twitter. Ralph Breaks the Internet, his Twitter account. I'm just gonna show this to you guys. It is one of the worst. I don't know what it is with this movie. It just has some of the worst ad campaigns I've ever seen.
They copied me too, Matt.
Yeah, that's the video I'm gonna play right now.
They copied me. Can't believe
So
it.
I guess in
Copied my idea.
context, let's see. These are all celebrate Internet Day with Wreck-It Ralph's tips for breaking the internet, and they have all these tips. It's just so cringy. In my opinion, it's just really cringy. But this is the worst one of all. It's of Ralph doing ASMR videos. Let's take a look at this. I'm gonna turn it down because it's extremely loud. Okay. That was awful. I'm so sorry to everybody who hopes this movie's gonna be good. This is just... I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I'm not a fan of the way this movie has been advertised. And Alex and I have voiced our opinions, our concerns for the movie in the past. But now that the movie's actually almost, what is it, like 19 days away?
Oh wait, it's about this month?
Yeah, November
Oh, shoot,
21st it
I
comes in
I didn't
theaters.
even know.
But
Oops.
yeah, now that all the big push for the ads is coming out, it's just really sort of showing what the movie is really gonna be like. I don't know if it's supposed to be ironic. I don't know if any of these are supposed to be like ironic or just like self-aware, but it doesn't really seem like they're self-aware. They have videos of Ralph like reacting to like cute cats, and it's like, cats are cute. I mean, don't get me wrong, but it's just sort of just like really cringy stuff. And I think also in the trailer I saw in the theater, I got rickrolled. They played the Rick Astley song, and they rickrolled me during the trailer, and I wasn't very appreciative of that. So I think I'm gonna pass on this movie. Sad, I know. Maybe I'll see it when it comes out eventually on VHS in a couple of years. But yeah. So yeah, press F to pay respects to Ralph, says Avery. Yeah. So that's that. And there was one other really cool. I need to find it. Oh my gosh. It's here somewhere. It's a 3D model of Galaxy's Edge. The Galaxy's Edge models, I believe, and there's also a 3D model of the Galaxy's Edge that's currently under construction in Florida. So let me find that really quick. Here we go. Again, provided by DSMYNewscast.com. Let's see. Can't wait for Star Wars Land Galaxy's Edge. Virtually visit Star Wars Land today. So I figure we might as well take a look at this together. Let's see. Let's switch to that. So it gives you the options: Galaxy's Edge presentation model, annotated model, Foundry model, Bazaar model, and Walt Disney World site model. So I guess we can just click on the first one. We'll see what it's like. Okay, it's loading the 3D model, everybody. I promise this is cool. It's cooler than it sounds. Okay, yeah, loading the 3D model. It's loading. It's almost done. Almost. It's just hanging there. It's like 95%. Okay, if this doesn't load. Okay, here it is. So, it's not as good as you'd expect because, of course, this is a picture of like the model they have on display in the parks that they had on display at D23 last year. So a lot of the images are sort of incomplete because you can't really access like the back side of the model to take reference images of, but it's really neat. If you're into this kind of stuff, link will be in the description below. Yeah, it's really neat in my opinion. I think it's pretty cool. You can sort of zoom in and out, look through all the different alleyways of the model, and you guys can definitely check out the other two. I think there are like 3 or 4 other different models out there on their website. But yeah, so let's get back to this. Okay, so that's that. Now we can get into this week's actual topics. Let's see. Alright. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway Ride is coming to Disneyland Park. This is breaking news, you guys, from Walt Disney World News today. This is breaking news, so you know it's 100% real. This was published on October 29th, so we're a little bit late on it. But I believe we talked about this a couple weeks ago on the show. Not from Walt Disney World News today, but from another, some other website, I believe. I can't remember the name. But this is breaking, guys. They are claiming 100% that this ride, excuse me, is coming to Disneyland Park. Oh, excuse me. I'm dying. Okay. Anyways, so I guess there's really not much to talk about. LMGVids, Kris and I were sort of having an interesting discussion before the podcast. So why don't you go ahead and start us off with this?
Oh, me? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Where do I start with this? I don't really know. I don't really like the idea of Disney copying over rides just constantly over and over and over because it really degrades the parks. It's like every single park is a unique experience, right? You go to one park, it's completely different. Go to another park, it's completely different. But ever since Bob Chapek joined the parks, he's been trying to take rides and attractions and copying them over and over and over and over, to a point to where it starts to really kill the vibes of the parks. So I feel like in a couple of years or so, every single park you go to is essentially going to be the same exact thing over and over and over, and it'll be less of an experience when you travel to different parks. But about the actual attraction itself, I don't think it's actually going to come to Disneyland. It doesn't make sense, mainly because it doesn't fit in the unless they tear down a bunch of buildings. It's not going to fit. If you look at the I guess Google Maps, Google Earth of the Walt Disney World where the Great Movie Ride is, you can see that building is humongous. It's this giant rectangular thing. Now, about 1/4, now about 1/5 of that is actually the queue, and the rest of it's actually the show building itself. But the thing is, you can't fit that entire ride into that tiny area right there. It just won't really work. And on top of that, I don't think Disney's exactly smart by putting a new ride there, especially when you have fireworks going up at every around 9 o'clock. Yet they shut down Toontown around 7:30ish, 6:30ish for the fireworks. So you're literally shooing away people like 4 hours for the park closes out of a new ride. So it doesn't seem logical just for Disney in general to put a new ride in there. Just in my opinion. And people are going to bring this up, but the pyrotechnics and stuff, even though they are going to change the pyrotechnics, if they don't move, actually no, even if they move the positions of the fireworks, they're still firing it behind the castle. That's the thing. If they fire it behind the castle, that's still going directly right over Toontown. Even if they push it really far back, it's still right over Toontown. It's still a safety hazard. People can't be over there. It's the same reason why they can't move the trains during the fireworks, because it's a safety hazard.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I cannot pronounce this person's name in the chat. I apologize. I'm not even going to try. Decibels, yes, thank you. Decibels said, I heard pyrotechnics will only be on the weekend starting in 2019, and there will be a new show that will be heavily based on projections. I don't think I heard that anywhere, but
Walt Disney World today, WDW News Today reported on that. So.
Did they? Okay, I must have missed that bit of news then, but well, that's interesting. We can maybe get into that another time. But Alex, what are your thoughts on Disney? We talked about this a couple weeks ago already, but Alex, what are your thoughts on Disney bringing the Mickey Mouse, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway attraction to Toontown?
Well, I think that it was the cheapest way for Disney to bring more guests into Toontown. Because there was, a lot of people have been wondering whether or not Disney was going to just bulldoze Toontown altogether and build something completely new. Because even the park, knows that Toontown isn't as popular as it used to be, and that it's starting to look a little faded and a little, just outdated and stuff like that. So Toontown was starting to grind to a halt. And so I think that Disney went, well, you know what? We're already building Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway for Hollywood Studios Park, and they thought that if they built it here at Disneyland, for Toontown, it would bring more people back into Toontown, in which I would have to say, okay, yeah, it would bring more people into Toontown and help prolong the life of Toontown, but I don't think it's going to solve Toontown's problems. And the other thing is, I don't know. I actually think that the railway could fit north of Toontown.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Honestly, when you look at the building for the Hollywood Studios one, really, that huge rectangular part of the building is all that the whole ride is going to be located in. So there's nothing more to it.
Well, actually, it's more like 1/4 of the building is actually the queue, and the 3/4 of the other building is actually the ride. So they can shrink it down a lot. But the problem is, if you compare the actual size of Toontown, literally the Chinese theater is about give or take a little bigger than 3/4 the size of Toontown. The Chinese theater is huge, but then the actual show building itself is about 3 to almost 4 times the size of the Chinese theater. So it just in general won't really fit. It's a little more down, Matt.
I was really disoriented. Okay, I found it.
I don't know. I have to disagree. Those buildings are about the same size.
You think so? I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. So we're talking about this building right here. And WDW... Oh gosh, that's not what I want to do. They did provide this lovely little concept image of where the attraction would go on the article. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. So I don't really know how credible WDW News Today has been in the past. They're sort of, I mean, yeah, I don't know. They're sort of credible. I've seen them get some things right, but they do say that none of this has been confirmed by any Disney authority, and that it's subject to change. So that's sort of like their scapegoat as to if this ends up being completely wrong. But they are saying that Disney is expected to make the announcement around Mickey and Minnie's 90th birthday on November 18th, which is only a couple days away, at the D23 Destination D event in Florida. They claim that there already is an event scheduled about the ride featuring Disney Imagineers, and that would be probably a good place, I guess, to announce that they're going to be bringing it to Disneyland. But yeah, speaking of that, Mickey's birthday is coming up. That's exciting. Anyways, back onto the topic. I don't know why I said that.
So I was going to say is the show building for the Railway and Hollywood Studios Park is about 275 feet long, while the area that they plan to allot for it north of Toontown is just about 425 feet long. So I think that they have plenty of room just north of Toontown to build a show building that has both a queue space and a ride.
Interesting.
I mean, I guess they could always shorten the ride, change it up a bit so it's not the exact same experience. But I guess then again, they are building two identical Star Wars lands in Disneyland and Hollywood Studios. I guess if this ends up being true, this sort of gives an even less incentive to go to Hollywood Studios. You can just go to Disneyland and get Galaxy's Edge and the Runaway Railway in the same park. So I guess that I don't really understand why they would do that. But Kris does make good points as well.
Yeah. They do that because a majority of people don't actually go to both of the parks. A majority of people only go to one of the parks, so there's really no point to like. But the thing is, it makes every single experience at the Disney park unique. And every time they copy over a ride, they're just following in Universal's footsteps. And if you go to Universal parks today, you go to one park and another park, you can see there are giant quality differences between their parks, because it's just like they put all the resources into one park, Florida, and then they export to other parks, and then the quality just dips down like really badly. Like they don't give a damn about because if they know it succeeds in Florida, they go, okay, we can just copy it over here and it'll be successful. We can cut our resources, cut some corners, and boom, just drop it in the park. So it's just, if they start doing it, they're gonna start getting that same thing, and over time we're gonna start getting less quality stuff, and since people trust Disney, they're gonna go, oh yeah, it's Disney, so it's okay, it's fine, they can make mistakes, whatever. So that's the thing I'm gonna try to avoid, and I'm thinking that if we see Mickey's Runaway Railway come to Toontown, that cycle is gonna start coming, and we're gonna start seeing more and more worse rides.
Well, hopefully they'll copy over Pixar Pier to Epcot. Can I get a high five, everybody listening? Just kidding.
Well, all I know is I kind of sometimes like the copy and paste thing, and the reason why is because I don't like going to Walt Disney World, and I don't really plan on going to the other Disney parks across the world. So it's like when I go to Disneyland Resort, I want to experience all the cool stuff that the other parks have without having to go to those, well, cruddy parks. So, when I last went to Hollywood Studios Park, it just was absolutely terrible. I never want to go back again. Even if they're building Galaxy's Edge there, and then they have, Toy Story Land, and then Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, like, I don't want to step back in that park again. It was just awful. And so, so I'd rather have those amazing rides here where I can access them without having to actually go into another one of Disney's parks,
Okay. Decibels says again in chat, but the Haunted Mansion on both coasts are almost entirely the same with the main scenes.
Perfect. I was just typing out a whole essay, so I can say it now here. Perfect. Okay, so if you compare both Disneyland's and Florida's, they are very different. First off, you have different scenes. You have you first off, you have different scenes. So instead of having the walkthrough scene in the beginning, they literally move it to the inside of the rides. They make the ride actually longer. But ignoring the first scenes and the action and the how you enter the mansion and outside the mansion, they change everything throughout the entire thing. If you actually pay attention, which most people don't, they change a lot of the animatronics. Animatronics are much more smoother. They don't jerk as much. And in the Graveyard Scene, you see them jerking sometimes. In Disneyland's version, you don't see that in Animal Kingdom. In Magic Kingdom's version, the lighting has changed a lot. It's a lot more blue lighting. I don't remember exactly. It's a lot more blue in Disneyland, and the lighting is a lot worse in Disneyland. It's much harder to see stuff in Disneyland compared to Disney World. Disney World's version is much more brighter. And they also change a lot. They also change a lot with colors. If you go to both coasts, you will see there are a lot of differences between both. You have to pay attention though. You can't just sit on there and just watch a video and just go, "Oh, that one's different." No, there are a bunch of differences. You just have to go and see it for yourself.
Okay.
The most similar, I would say, is Disney World's and Tokyo's. That's the most similar because they have the same lighting styles. It's just where it changes that Tokyo's is really outdated. They haven't updated anything from when they opened. So I mean, that's the most simple. But Disneyland, Disney World's like literally the whole entire ride is different. The only I was gonna say that the hallway scene, the infinite hallway scene. But then even then, there's different lighting changes there. It's much more red in Disneyland's version and darker, but in Disney World's version, it's much brighter and less red. It's a lot of different changes in both of the parks. You gotta pay very close attention though.
Jeez, Kris, you sure do know a lot about this stuff, but
when you go to the parks enough, you see a bunch of stuff.
That's true. That's true. So I guess 1 point for Kris. This stream.
It partially triggers me when people say it's the same thing. No, it's not the same thing. The Imagineers put in a lot of work. They are very different attractions, very different. No, not different, but they have their own set of differences. They're not the same.
Okay. T-Will says something sort of interesting. I think the core ride with changed elements is ideal. Space Mountain is the core example in my eyes. I believe he's talking about like you have Space Mountain, the original, and then you have what is the other one in Paris called? Is it Hyperspace Mountain still, or is it? It's
Hyperspace Mountain. Yeah, it's switching back in December.
Oh, that's good. But Space Mountain Mission 2 in Paris, and I think that's the only other example. I don't know, but you guys get what he's saying. Core.
What do you mean
is
the core?
Space Mountain.
I'm trying to understand what he's trying to say there.
I think he means elements. Like the core, like the core how do I don't know. T-Will.
You don't know what he means.
No, yeah.
I don't know what he means.
T-Will, will you please explain what you said in chat so we can better understand? I sort of understand.
It's really weird. It's the castle. It's the worst castle park. If you say Tokyo Disneyland is the worst castle, that means you're saying Disney World is the worst castle. It's the same exact castle.
No, I don't think he's saying it's the castle. I think what Mateo is saying is that when it comes to a Magic Kingdom style park, it's the worst Magic Kingdom style park.
Okay. I am not going to speak on this because people are going to hate me for it. So I'm just gonna let it pass. I'm not going to speak on it. All right.
It's okay. I say things that people hate me for all the time.
No, trust me. You know, I'm making a video for my other channel right now. I have a list of where each park sits for me. Disney World sits. I'm sorry. Magic Kingdom sits very low for me. I think it's like literally. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna go on a rant. People are gonna hate. I'm stopping. All right, I'm stopping. Okay.
Okay. T-Will said, what I mean is Disneyland and WDWs are indoor roller coasters, but the layout design is different. So I guess not really what I said, but also kind of what I said. They feature similar yet different experiences, said T-Will. That sort of makes more sense.
I guess that's. They're completely different rides. I mean, they're the same theme, but they're completely different rides.
Yeah,
I think a better way, a better argument would be saying how Disneyland Space Mountain is literally copied everywhere. Like you have Disneyland Space Mountain, Tokyo Space Mountain, Hong Kong Space Mountain, and actually that's it. Yeah, Disneyland, Tokyo, and Hong Kong, they all have the same Space Mountain. They're exactly the same, except for Tokyo. Tokyo's is actually running on Disneyland's original track. That's the same track that was built during Disneyland's time, so it's very bumpy. It's very old. You can really tell. Hong Kong's and Disneyland's are the most updated, so you can tell. In Tokyo's version, it's very rickety. It's very bumpy. It's really crazy, and there's no music too, so you can't tell what the hell is happening.
Oh wait, there's no music in which one?
In Tokyo's.
Oh, that's gross.
And then in Hong Kong, they have this really weird thing. They have no in Hong Kong. In Tokyo, it's like completely dark like ours, but no music and very very outdated effects. But in Hong Kong, everything is updated. They have projection screens everywhere, and when you go down the drop, there's like these rings you pass by. And it's really weird, but it's so cool. You're passing by nebulas, planets and stuff. It's like instead of seeing Ghost Galaxy, imagine Ghost Galaxy, but instead put like planets and nebulas there, and you're passing by. It's really cool.
Well, interesting. I guess Kris sure does get around when it comes to go into all the different Disney parks. Because I don't really have much to say.
Oh yeah, Kris gets it around.
I travel too often. For me, I rank the castle parks with Disneyland. Exempted. This is becoming more of a Q&A than the actual podcast, isn't?
Kind of, a little bit. Well, there's really not much else to talk about this topic, anyways. We sort of said everything. Yeah, there's really not much left to the article.
Yeah. So we have 18 minutes of Q&A. So hit us with everything you got, people.
So yeah, that's gonna do it for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Definitely, I want to hear what you guys have to say on that. Comment down below. But let's get to our sort of spicy topic. This one's gonna be interesting, I think. Kris said he had a lot to say, and I'm sure Alex does as well. I was inspired on this topic by Rob Play's recent video about screens in Disneyland rides and how they can be improved, how they're currently implemented, and sort of almost kind of comparing it to screen rides in what is it called?
Universal?
Universal, yeah. Screen rides in Universal. So let's get into this.
I am gonna rip Disney a new one. Alex, you go first. Okay, I'm gonna go on for like 5 minutes. No joke.
Okay, do you want me to start? You want me to...
Yeah, please, because I'm gonna go on forever.
Okay, so I have like a love-hate relationship with the screen rides, because in my opinion, screens are like the lazy and fast way of building a ride, or getting through with a scene and stuff like that. And so, but at the same time, screens can be really cool for when you're really out of space and you need to pack more scenery into such a short amount of space. So I'm going to use some examples here. So first example of a screen ride I absolutely would not like is the Ratatouille ride at Disneyland Paris, because it is like, what is it, like 75 or 80% screens, and the rest of it is just scenery between the screen. So it's all just being on this ride and watching a movie on a large screen and then just bouncing around in front of the movie.
Yeah.
So it's not immersive in my opinion, and it's just the cheap way of building a ride. I would take animatronics and actual full sets, over any screen ride ever. But contrariwise, if you guys have rode the Alice in Wonderland attraction at Disneyland in Fantasyland, they updated it a few years ago with some projection effects without actually taking away very much practical effects. So, for instance, in the first scene, when you go past the door, when you go past the upside down room and through the door, there used to be just like a green wall with like fake bushes and things because there was nothing else to put there because there's just a wall there. But when they redid the attraction a couple of years ago, I think it was in 2014, they did a projection effect there where you see Alice actively chasing the White Rabbit, and I really like that opening sequence so much because they went in there with, they used some kind of computer programming and technology to literally cut out the individual layers of the scene, such as cut out the tree, cut out the hillside, cut out Alice herself and the White Rabbit. And then what they did was they overlapped these layers to make it so that way they can slide the layers past each other.
Yeah.
Therefore, giving the illusion that you are passing by them. So it's almost like what they call 2.5D, you know, where it's like not quite 3D, but it's close to it, you know? And so I thought this is really great. And then of course the rest of the ride is a little bit different than that. It's more traditional, where you just have you have little things like you have the breaded butterflies, you know, flying around in the background. You have the rocking horse fly kind of landing on a leaf. You know, you see paint splatters where they're painting the roses red. And then of course behind the Queen of Hearts, you see her army of cards, you know, jumping after you. And so they didn't have to take away any scenery for this. They just enhanced what was already there. And so I thought it was a perfect way to use projection effects for a ride. So, you know, I was talking, I forget who I was talking, I think I was talking to Mateo the other day about how I'm not sure if I'm going to enjoy the new Battle Escape attraction at Galaxy's Edge. And I'm not sure because even though they say, oh, there's going to be like a ton of animatronics in this ride, I mean, technically Disney considers like an animatronic a static figure with a swiveling head. They consider that an animatronic. So I'm kind of like, I don't know, like, yeah, you're going to see all these three-dimensional stormtroopers, you know, standing in a large hangar bay, but are they really going to move or even move that much, you know? And so it's just like I'm not really sure what to expect from it, but what I do know is that there will definitely be screens, and they're going to be big screens. How many of them that are going to be in this ride, I don't know. But hopefully it's nothing like what you see at Ratatouille. So that's my little 2 cents into that.
Before
Kris?
I come back, I'm going to go to the bathroom. We're back.
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Okay.
You should bring the microphone in there with you.
Oh goodness. It's funny you mentioned the Alice in Wonderland ride. I was going to mention that too as one of my favorite, well, I guess rides that I've experienced with when it comes to implementing screens with these sort of practical effects. And what you were talking about with the opening sequence, with how they overlaid all the different layers, like you said, the trees and Alice and the mountains and everything. That's sort of like what Walt invented with the multiplane camera, kind of, but sort of just on a digital scale and sort of in real life. But yeah, that is a really good example.
All right, me back.
Oh my gosh,
Sorry,
that was really fast.
That was really fast.
Did you wash your hands?
Yes, I washed
have like a
my hands.
bottle
Did you use
next
soap?
to your desk.
Yes. My bathroom isn't that far away from my room. That's why it's just literally down the hallway.
Jeez. Okay. Anyways.
Well, I wanted
Kris's
to hear
turn.
Alex's point, so I was literally holding it halfway down. I was like, come on, Alex, finish up, please. Because I actually completely disagree with almost everything you just said. Screens are actually I completely disagree. Screens are actually a really good thing. I think they're a great thing if they're implemented correctly. Most of the time, we don't talk, because the thing is, we never ever talk about, because the bathroom is far away, decibels. Because we never ever talk about the good screens. You see it. We always talk about the bad screens. We never talk about the good screens. Look at Fly Past It. That's one of the best. That's one of the best implemented screens. Transformers is one of the best implemented screens I've seen.
Yeah.
What else? There's another one too. There's another one in
Transformers.
Transformers is it's really well done.
That ride sucked.
It's really, did you know there's actually an elevator in that ride? It takes you to the second floor. Did you know?
No, I didn't know that. No, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? Because literally,
I knew that there was a second floor. I just never noticed how they got you.
They got you there by making it. So the thing is about the Transformers, why it's so, because Transformers and Ratatouille, Transformers is so much better than Ratatouille because it's much more immersive. Ratatouille is a complete failure in terms of screen rides. I completely hate it. I hate it so much. I really, really hate it because it's a failure in every single ride. It's a failure. So basically, the best way to do a screen ride is to ensure the guest doesn't see the floor. If the guest sees the floor, and especially in a moving scene ride, it ruins the immersion. That's why Ratatouille infuriated me so much. Because imagine it was just lazy, just raise the ride vehicles, the ledge a little bit, and the people can't see the floor. Perfect. Transformers, they do two things. They make the floor invisible to you. You can't see the floor no matter what you do, and they blend in the scenery around you. So no matter where you look, the screens kind of blend in very easily. And they had this, and in most scenes, you really can't tell what the screen ends unless you pay attention. You can't tell where the screen ends and where the actual practical effects begins. So it really blends in really well. Ratatouille doesn't blend in well at all. You can tell where the screen ends. Like, it's really, really bad, and there's multiple errors in like multiple animation errors in Ratatouille. It was really rough. I don't want to get into it because I'm gonna go all ranty and I want to say it for a video. But yeah. So, Ratatouille is it just in general is not a well-implemented ride. It's a very terrible ride. Just Disney in general can't make these multiple screen rides. You look at Pirates of the Caribbean, terrible ride. They don't know how to do screens. Everyone praises the ride, but it's a terrible screen ride. Absolutely terrible. They don't understand how to do screens. There are times where the screens literally end. Like there's a literally 3-foot gap of blackness between like the screens and the actual practical elements. It's so freaking annoying. Don't forget the sinking and rising. The sinking scene, the scene where you go after Pirates, after you see Jack Sparrow. That scene is really good. However, it introduces a problem. What happens is so in rides, what happens is they are very smart. They tell you how can I phrase this? Let's say Haunted Mansion, right? They tell you can look up in Haunted Mansion, right? So you see the hanging corpse. That means they have to theme the roof. Because that means they tell you, you can look up, therefore you have to theme the roof. It's just how you do it. So in all the rides where you can look up, they tend to theme the roof. In rides you don't look up, they don't theme the roof. Look at the Fantasyland rides. They never ever theme the roof because they don't expect you to look up. They never ever throw anything up on a ledge, on a ceiling, or up in the ceiling, unless it's like Snow White at the very end, because they don't theme it. So they make sure that you kind of forget as a ceiling. Pirates of the Caribbean, they literally introduce to you, tell you, look up at the ceiling. We have stuff up there for you. A lot of times in different scenes, there's nothing up there. Some scenes there's stuff up there, some scenes there's nothing up there. And it's just, it's inconsistent. Third off, there's screen resetting, something I completely hate. Yes. Screen resetting is something that I do not like in rides because it's completely lazy. What happens at screen resetting? So basically with practical elements, like, in Radiation Racers, even though it's a really, really bad ride, it's just indoor portion. With Radiation Racers, what tends to happen is the animatronics have to reset. They go out and they reset, and everything is just too clumped together. Well, it takes time. It takes like up to 5 seconds for Mater to reset. 3 seconds, excuse me. 3 seconds for Mater to reset. So it takes time. So if you see him reset, I mean, it's fine, whatever. He has to reset. It's an animatronic. However, with a screen, it takes less than a millisecond. It takes less than a second. It's like that, and it changes. So, hiding this effect is way easier than trying to hide a practical effect. So when you expose your guests to, like, screen resetting, it's just pure laziness. Like, pure, complete laziness. And Disney does not know how to design screen rides. The only rides I've seen Disney do correctly, like even slightly correctly, was Star Tours. And one ride as done correctly is Flight of Passage. My English is going all over the place. I'm sorry, but it's just the fact that everyone's leaving now. Cause I'm probably pissing them off. It's just the fact that it's just the fact that Disney does not know how to make screen rides. If you look at their attractions, they have no idea to do it. They're always really bad, really rushed, or just like they're completely clueless, absolutely clueless. Like in Ratatouille, there's one, I won't say where, but there's one part where Linguini's hand literally goes through the wall. It goes straight through the wall. I think I showed you guys this. Yeah, it goes straight through the wall. You pay attention. You can see this from 2 of the 3 ride vehicles. His hand goes straight to the wall. It is very, very bad. Disney does not give a damn about the screen rides. That's why the screen rides are so bad. It's because of the fact they don't give a rat's butt about it. They don't care.
They don't give a Ratatouille's butt about it.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. But like, if you go to other parks like Universal, for the rides they actually put effort into, they actually make good screen rides. Like, you know, Forbidden Journey is a pretty decent screen ride. Transformers is a really good screen ride. Spider-Man is also a really good screen ride.
What about Jimmy Fallon?
Jimmy Fallon is a terrible screen. We don't talk about that ride. Anyways, Jimmy Fallon's Jimmy Fallon's is literally holy moly! It's literally just a reincarnation of Minions. It's literally it's a reincarnation of the Minions ride. It's the same exact ride vehicle, but it's worse. Like, it's cringy now. Minions was terrible. Storytelling was terrible. The key was terrible. The immersion was terrible. And then Jimmy Fallon came in, took all of that, and then added on top cringiness. So it just made it even worse. I don't. Yeah. So okay. So I'm gonna try to end off my rant there. I think that's enough talking.
Okay.
Yeah. But in my personal opinion, Disney does not know how to make screen rides, so that's why we have a perception that screen rides are bad. It's just because they don't make good screen rides in general. They don't. Their screen rides suck.
I don't know. I rode Transformers and I was like, I do not. I mean, I'll admit Transformers is probably like the best screen ride out there.
In Universal Studios California, yeah. I wouldn't say the best. Okay, yeah, okay.
Okay, well, anyway, I'll give them that credit, but at the same time, I'd much prefer to have seen, like, life-size, like, fully three-dimensional Transformers, at least in a few of the scenes. And honestly, I still, even though the Transformers ride was, from what I've seen, the best screen ride, I still prefer screens to be something that is in the background and not in the foreground.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. It's just with the new way how the publishers are seeing movies and such. It's much more easier to implement screens because the public is just stupid now. It's true. The public is just stupid. Like they call Fast and Furious a good ride. I would never consider Fast and Furious an even decent
I've seen ride-throughs of that. It's just awful. Oh,
it's worse in person. They tried to make it better by making it in the afternoon, so it hides a lot of the animation problems. But it's just as bad. It's just as bad.
Okay. Well, Kris does make some good points. Let's see. I don't really know where to go from there. Let's see. Alex makes some good points as well. I guess what I can say, in my opinion, I haven't been to Universal Studios in many years. I do remember liking the Transformers ride when I went. Again, this was a long time ago. I don't really remember much from it. I guess I'll say the only good screen rides I've been on, let's see, is Star Tours, maybe Soarin'. What about Soarin'? Soarin's obviously sort of screen.
The new Soarin' or the old Soarin'?
Well, just Soarin' in general when it comes to that ride mechanic.
Well, the thing is, with screens, they're not exactly supposed to be the main focus. It's the thing is, the screens are meant to amplify something else. That's what makes the experience so great. So if the ride sucks, then the screens are gonna suck. Mm-hmm. The screens are meant to amplify something. That's what they're there for. So it's kind of like with Soaring, it's all about the music. The music and the feeling. Okay. And so as I'm asking you, which one? It's because the screens really don't play too much of a big part in here.
Are you kidding? They play the biggest part.
No. It's the music
through the whole ride. I bet you would unbuckle your seatbelt and jump 30 feet down to your death.
No. I mean, the screen plays a big part of it, Alex. What I'm trying to say is that in a case of Soaring, the music is the backbone of the attraction. The music and the experience is the backbone of the attraction. But so I'm asking you, which one? So you're asking about Soaring over California or Soaring? There's two very different rides. I have two very different opinions about both of them.
Well, I guess both. Because obviously
Both?
the original is the superior one, but
The original is superior because of the music is the background. Literally, I don't really care what goes on the screen. It's the music that carries the ride. It's not the screens. The music carries the ride. If you trust me, like the new score, I have a whole script written down, but I don't know where it is. The new score of soaring around the world, it just completely sucks. It's like literally when you go to a new land, they don't play music that conveys emotion. They play music that's like telling you where you are.
Yeah,
when you're flying over Egypt, it's literally like, hey, you're in Egypt. Here's Egyptian music. Or you're flying over or China. It's like, oh, we're in China now. Here's some Chinese music. And it's just like it's not engaging. It's just telling you where you are. In soaring over California, they never have music that's telling you, oh, you're in the mountains. Oh, you're over the beach. Oh, you're soaring over the river. No, you never. They tell you music what to feel. No, they don't. They tell you music what to feel.
They do.
They don't. They tell you in some situations they do, but then they never tell you. The music never like straight up says, you're soaring over this particular thing. It's more like the music is telling you to feel if it's going fast or slow or soothing or you listen to the soundtrack when you fly over the river. It's not telling you you're over a river. It's telling you you close your eyes. You can imagine anything kind of smooth and slow, and the music goes along with that. With soaring around the world, if you fly over the Chinese segment and you close your eyes, you can't think of anything besides Asian or Chinese stuff. You get what I'm trying to go with this now? It's kind of hard for me to explain.
Interesting. I understand. I see where you're coming from. Saludos Amigos asks, what if there were lyrics to the Soren soundtrack? Obviously, in my opinion, I don't think that would be a very good idea.
God, no.
Yeah, obviously that's not a very good idea. I mean, maybe they'd find a way to make it work. I don't think so. T-Will asks a very interesting question. Are you guys okay with face projections on animatronics? Like the dwarves on the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train? I think it's a good compromise.
That's very incorrect what he just said right there. It's not the lighting that's a problem. It's the fact that the frozen animatronics are the only animatronics with the screen projections are actually interacting with the actual facial skin tones of the animatronics. You realize that every single other screen animatronic they have, the literal screen interacts with something else. It's either it ends at the beard, ends at the clothes, ends at something else. They never ever end at the screen at the skin tones. Those are the first animatronics Disney ever tried to do that with the screens ended at the skin tones. And trying to replicate skin tones in a screen or anything else, it's hard. It's very, very, very hard. That's why with the trolls it works so much better, because you can replicate fake skin tones. It's easy, but real skin tones it's much harder.
Okay.
People don't take that into consideration. It's just the skin tones are very hard to reproduce.
Interesting. I haven't been on
I'm
that
giving
ride,
away all. I'm giving away all my topics from my videos at this point. I can't believe it. I went through 7 of my videos for topics already. So now you guys.
We got some premium content here today, guys.
Premium content.
Yeah. Now what Matt and I are gonna do is we're gonna get Kris to start filming on-ride videos for Matt's channel.
Yes.
That way we can fully monopolize. Yeah.
But yeah, you guys both make some good points about screens. Let's see. I don't really know where to go from here. We've sort of talked about everything already. Unless you guys have any closing thoughts you'd like to say, or anything you'd like to add to the topic.
Everything Kris said was wrong.
What? Everything Alex said was Wow.
I'm just kidding. He's entitled to his opinion.
We're all entitled to our own opinions. I can say Alex's opinion is completely wrong and no one should believe him, but that's my own opinion.
Yeah, and I can say that Kris is completely misled and he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mateo said you can combine all your channels and call it the Mountain Range Podcast. That's a good name for a podcast. I just screenshotted that. Thank you, Mateo. Yeah, that's a good name for something. Mountain Range. But anyways.
Matt's new single?
Opinions on Matt's new single. That is very.
The Bugs Land one.
Yeah.
The Bugs Land one.
Yeah.
Oh, I really liked your backup singers. They were they sound like really nice girls, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I won't break the news. I won't break the sad news to Kris, but I've been thinking of making like a whole album just dedicated to like different songs. I don't know. I'll think about it. But
I'm still waiting for your Pirates of the Caribbean dub, by the way.
Oh, that's coming for 10,000 subscribers. That is coming. I need to work on that, by the way. But I promise to you guys that is coming once I hit 10,000 subscribers. I will be redubbing the entire Pirates of the Caribbean ride with my voices. I don't know if I should do like the sound effects either, like the water sloshing or like the birds.
You should do it.
I should do that. Okay.
I can already imagine you like in like the attacking the fort scene. You just going.
Yeah, exactly. Whichever one all you guys would think is funniest, I'll definitely do it. I want Matt as red. Oh my god.
You know, Matt, I'll even challenge you to sing out the music yourself instead of using the actual music.
I'll definitely do that because I'll get copyrighted if I use the actual music. So I have to sing
it myself.
You'll be in the background going. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
It's gonna sound so kajabled. Oh my lord.
It's gonna be amazing. Don't worry. But that is coming for 10,000 subscribers. I need
better
to
be on time.
It might be like a week or two late. I have to work on it. I should probably start working on it right now because we're kind of close to 10,000 already. But yeah. I'm making a Matterhorn map promise right now. It will be out within the week of us hitting 10,000 subscribers.
And a year later, it's not out yet.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, we'll see. I guess that wraps up everything. We sort of already talked about all the topics we had. Mateo asked Alex, the CK holiday just broke down, according to Mateo.
Oh.
Inside information.
Yeah, I didn't know. I wonder why it broke down. It could be anything. You know, I was just telling him about how the fact that they've been dealing with, because the water tower that they refill the locomotives with has been like completely unused for like a couple of years now. They refill the engines with basically like a fire hose, except a slightly smaller one. And because it takes so long to refill the tenders with water, they just opt for refilling the tenders about every 2 trips instead of waiting till the tender is almost completely empty. And so what happens is, because they have to pour these like special water treatment chemicals into the tender to treat the water, and they never fully use all the water, all those water treatment chemicals are just building up at the bottom of the tender, turning into sludge. And so what's happening is, like I saw the other day, the CK Holiday, they had to take it off the line because they had to replace what's called the umbilical, which is basically just a hose that leads from the tender into the engine and feeds water to the engine. They had to replace it because it got so clogged full of sludge that they literally they had to replace it. And that was crazy because I saw like all this water like just splashing out of the tender from the bottom, and I was just like, whoa. So yeah, so Disney needs to fix everybody, you know what, even if you don't understand how engines work, how locomotive engines work, just campaign with me that Disney needs to fix the Frontierland water tower, okay? All right, we're all done.
Well, actually, I was talking to some of the engineers, and they were saying how they can probably never bring it back because OSHA doesn't want the engineers standing on the tender itself.
Aha, but here I have a counter for that. Has anyone ever seen them refill the tenders at Walt Disney World? They have special equipment for that, so that way they don't violate. No.
They do? I thought they stand on top of it.
Nope, they do not. They have a special platform that is that they can scoot back and forth, and they can just climb on top of the platform and get there. And then even further, just so that way they don't have to reach for the spigot of the tower, they have a special rod that they just go up there and hook onto the spigot, pull the spigot down, they open the lid with the rod. So literally they're standing perfectly safe on a perfectly safe platform doing everything with this like long rod that they just open the hatch with, and then they align the spigot, everything, and it's perfectly safe. And they could do that here at Disneyland. There's enough room, there's enough everything. They just don't.
Probably costs too much money to, but it costs too much money to put in a platform. Obviously, come on.
Yeah.
We all know how Disney management works. It's too much money. If
Well,
it costs
I, for
more than
one-
2 cents, it's too much money.
I, for one, have no idea what you guys are talking about, but I'm sure all the other
Really?
people who know what you're talking about really enjoyed that.
I'm also gonna throw in one more steam engine thing here. A lot of problems with the Disney locomotives now is that they run on this not run, but they maintain their locomotives at like a diesels almost. It's like when something breaks, you replace it. That's never how you should operate. How you should run a steam locomotive. If you replace it when it breaks, something else is going to break literally within the next couple of days. What they should be doing is literally replacing it before it breaks. Like literally about halfway through its life cycle, you want to replace it. So it puts less wear and tear on other parts of the locomotive. That's the problem with a lot of steam locomotives today. Is that they tend to treat them like diesels. Like when it breaks, replace it. But the thing is, it creates a lot more problems down the line, and then more and more. And like since it puts more stress in other parts, it stresses out other parts of the and it makes everything worse.
You guys may not know how train locomotives operate, but what Kris said is completely the truth. That's actually true. For steam locomotives, you have to replace the parts when they're about 80% used up.
Oh, 80%? I thought it was 50%. That's okay.
You can do 50%, but that's kind of wasted money at that point.
Interesting. I, for one, like I said, have no idea what is going on. But
we could go into a conversation.
Yeah, Alex and I talked about steam locomotives for like 2 hours at Disneyland.
I feel like that'd be like an interesting segment. Maybe not on the podcast, but like as a video. I feel like people that are interested in that kind of thing would definitely watch it.
There's a whole vocabulary that we just go into. Like it's like a different language because we know all the names of the parts and how everything works. And so it's just like when we talk, it's like some people just look at us like, oh, you don't even like.
Yeah,
you're not even speaking English.
What is this guy saying? Is it Latin? What is this?
Yeah,
like the front of the little tiny sled in the front of the steam locomotive. It's called it's more commonly known as a pilot, but some people call it a cow catcher. So it's just like people are like what the heck is a cow catcher? But so people get confused. I posted on Instagram and the cow catcher on the Knott's Berry Farm steam locomotive was missing. They took it off for refurbishment. I had posted it and people were like, "What the heck is a cow catcher? What is a cow catcher?" I'm just like,
which is the funniest thing too, because cow catcher is like the basics of what everybody. It's like when you say name a dinosaur, the first thing people say is T-Rex, right?
Yes.
So when people say name a feature of a train, people go, oh, the cow catcher, and then so it's like now that people don't even know what that is anymore, kind of freaks me out.
Anyways, hey, all you Mountaineers.
I didn't see Matt just sitting there.
I was just relaxing while you guys were talking. Maybe that would be an interesting segment on the show, or maybe not on the show. Maybe like a separate series on Alex's channel or Kris's channel, just talking about the trains. But anyways, before we close out the show, I have an interesting article here that I wanna. It's a short article. Don't worry, everybody. It's very interesting from USA Today. It showcases the most popular Halloween costumes in every state. This was posted to our Discord channel. I guess I forgot to mention at the beginning. I hope you all had an amazing Halloween, had a safe Halloween. I knew I was forgetting something, but anyways. This, I guess, survey documents what costume is the most popular in each state, I guess. I don't really know how they record this kind of stuff, but I'd like for you guys to guess. For California, what do you think is the most popular costume from this past Halloween?
I don't
know.
Well, you'll be surprised because this year's California Halloween costume was a unicorn.
What?
I don't know how they measure these.
My little cousin was a unicorn.
Oh. That probably solves it.
Yeah,
she was the only one who dressed up, and it was just her that they counted. I'm not gonna go down this whole thing because there's 50 states here, 51. I definitely know how many states there are, guys. Just forget I said that. But let's see. I will point out that Alabama's #1 costume was Mickey Mouse. Arizona's was Deadpool. Arkansas's was also Mickey Mouse. Colorado was Star Wars. Wait.
That's so generic, though.
How do you...
Wait. That is so generic. That's like saying the most popular costume was Disney.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's
so generic. Wait a minute.
I don't know if it's like
that's not fair.
Darth Vader or like yeah.
You can't compare characters to a whole freaking genre. That's not fair.
I feel like this isn't accurate. Florida's was Baywatch. Delaware was Poison Ivy. Georgia was Stormtrooper. Why couldn't? Wait a minute.
Wait. Florida was Baywatch. Most people in Florida, no offense, are like old people.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't think old people will be dressing up in shorts and swimsuits and stuff.
This is so weird. Louisiana was Princess. Maine was Angel. Minnesota was Pumpkin. So was Missouri and Nebraska. Those three were pumpkins.
Who dresses up as a pumpkin?
Ohio was Tinkerbell. Oklahoma was Angel. South Carolina was Power Rangers. South Dakota was Mad Hatter. Virginia was 1980s. What does that mean? What does that mean? 1980s.
I'm just joking, Disney Deuce, but there are a lot of retired people in Florida. I make that joke sometimes.
I
know
don't.
there's young people there.
I have a funny story if you guys want to hear it.
Oh, perfect.
About a Halloween
Yes.
costume.
Go for it.
Okay, so when I was 10 and it was Halloween, I wanted to go as Darth Maul from Star Wars Phantom Menace, right? And because I thought he looked so cool at the time.
I'll link the article in the description, everybody.
And so when I was my grandma, who was an ordained minister, she asked me, so what do you want to go dressed as for Halloween? And I go, oh, I'm going to be dressed as Darth Maul, And she's like, that evil guy from Star Wars? I'm like, yeah, I'm like, that sounds so cool. And so she goes, I don't think that's really appropriate. That seems kind of evil. And I'm like, yeah, but he's really cool. And she's like, no, I don't think that's, I don't think that's right. Why don't you go as something like a pumpkin or something? Like, I don't want to go as a pumpkin. I'm 10 years old, And so she goes, well, we'll find something different. So Halloween comes around. My dad buys me this Darth Maul costume, and my mom is gonna do my face paint for me because she was literally gonna do the red and black and then copy the face paint exactly like that. And so my grandma comes up to me like I think it was that morning. I was like, I got you a costume. Like, what'd you get me? A big frog. Oh. She wanted me to dress up as a frog. I was like, no, you guys are supposed to be laughing. Anyway, so I was like, no. So my dad was like, oh, okay, yeah, Mom, we'll dress him as a frog or whatever. So I had to take the frog costume with me to my mom's house. And what I did was I got in the costume with my trick-or-treat bag, took a picture of me in the costume, and then I switched out to the Darth Maul costume and then got my face painted and went out as Darth Maul. So that way I could at least show my grandma that I wore the costume. That was just funny.
That is a very sad story. Well, I guess it's not sad because you ended up dressing up as Darth Maul in the end. But, yeah. Thank you, Alex, for sharing that.
Do I have any funny story that can top that? I'm trying to think. A Hollywood.
No, you don't. You simply don't.
No, I have funny stories from Shanghai Disneyland, which are
goodness.
like. But do you want to hear it? Do you want to hear stories from my adventures in Shanghai Disneyland? Probably one of my most hidden parks.
Before you tell the story, I want to point out that New Mexico's #1 costume was Harley Quinn. Okay, you can continue now.
Oh, my aunt was Harley Quinn. That was kind of weird.
Wait. Oh.
My aunt was Harley Quinn. Yeah.
That's. I don't know
she
what to
isn't
say.
That old.
Oh, she isn't that old? Okay. I was gonna. I don't know what to say.
Remember, Asian women, they don't look as old. Don't worry. So like you minus like 20 years.
Okay.
It's fine. It's not this wrinkly old woman. Oh, you're fine. Okay. So in Shanghai Disneyland, there's a lot of people who literally, it's weird. I literally complain about the people who act really impolitely at Shanghai Disneyland. So like usually people would push, they would kick. I wouldn't say kick you, but they'll knee you, and then they'll cut you in line and stuff. They'll litter the place. And I can say this is 100% factual, but since they do it to you, that means you can do it to them. So, oh my gosh. So I have some stories of the great accidents. Yes, accidents I did in Shanghai Disneyland. So there was these two little boy and girl behind me that kept bumping into me. So I was like, okay, keep bumping into me. They were trying to get around me. I was like, okay, I can see that. And I can see the Buzz Lightyear, the ride is literally around the corner. So right when I see the ride, I can tell they're gonna cut me. I stick out my leg, boom, like that. Just like, I'm gonna stick out my leg, just kind of stretch out my leg, just abnormally long. And they rush out. I accidentally, there we go, thank you. I accidentally stuck out my leg. And bada bing, bada boom, they trip over and they both face plant onto the moving platform. it was the best thing ever. Absolutely best thing ever. And the parents did nothing. They just kind of stood there and watched. And was like, okay, that's great. You guys should be laughing. Isn't that funny?
I'd like to call this story Kris's concussions.
Chris's concussions. That's good.
I have two more.
Okay.
I have a lot more. So then I was watching the Pirates of the Caribbean show, right? And then there was this really angry lady, and this little girl tries to walk past me. I'm literally standing in place, like, so there's no one around me because I'm the only one there. And then you can walk around me, but she tried to push through me, right? I'm like, why are you trying to push through me? And she's trying to push through me, and finally I let her through. And then I finally let her through, and then the mom comes up to me. She goes in my face like that, like it's a very angry face. I was like, what the hell? And what I did, I went like this. So I have my heavy bag with my 7-pound camera in there. I go, oh, I'm gonna turn around very quickly, so it flies in the air. Boom, hits her in the back of the back. She falls on the floor. I kind of walk a little forward, and then she looks around, like kind of pissed off. I'm like, nobody shouldn't see me.
I can totally hear you like doing the motions too, like of you like swinging your back.
Oh, that was amazing. I loved it. It was the best thing ever. What else happened? Shoot. I elbowed a couple people in the face. I mean, I accidentally elbowed a couple people in the face. But then, okay, so in the so in the soaring line, there was this little girl. Who do you think has the nicest? Oh, by far Tokyo. Like, Tokyo is so nice. They pick up. So I swear, you can literally drop trash on the floor and it'll be gone within the next 5 seconds. Like, that's how good it is. Like, literally, they are so polite. They're so nice. There's no trash cans anywhere. You can't find trash cans anywhere. It is the cleanest park, the nicest park. Shanghai is completely different. But I love Shanghai because you can freaking beat people. I mean, you can freaking accidentally hurt people without any concussions. So in the soaring around the world, backpacks are good for pushing people. Pushing people isn't fun. You have to take it an extra step. That's what's more fun. When they get hurt, that's when it's fun. Okay, that's where it's fun. When you just push them and they just get annoyed. You have to hurt them. So essentially, in the soaring around the world, soaring over the horizon queue in Shanghai Disneyland, there was this really annoying girl who literally was walking at the speed of light, trying to pass all three of us. My family, three, me, my mom, and dad. Try to pass and my mom was like, Kris, she's trying to pass me. And I was like, okay, she's gonna pass. You just don't let her pass. and then all of a sudden she zigzags past my mom, and then she zigzags past me. I didn't even see her. She just lightning passes me. And mom was like, "Shh, I can't curse." It was like S word. Oh my gosh, she passed me that. This is like a 8-year-old girl too. So like, that B word. I can't believe it. Why she passed me? And she was getting pissed off, brutally pissed off. I was like, Mom, don't worry, I got this. I freaking like walk up to her. I grab her by the shoulder. She turns around with this really innocent face. I literally drag her back. I accidentally drag her back. She literally falls on the floor, almost as a barrel roll on the floor, and we just keep walking. Don't cut me in line.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Okay, so that was the best time ever. Okay, so but then we did let her pass afterwards, because apparently all she had to say was that she was trying to get to her family ahead of us, but she just kept trying to push past us and go around us. I was just like, just ask. Don't cut. Don't ask. But yeah, that was. Is this not funny to you guys?
It's kind of scary, Kris. I'll be honest.
What do you mean, kind of scary? It's not scary.
It kind of makes me wonder, like, maybe I should try to like tick you off whenever we're in line.
No, because okay, so in Disneyland I can't do it because you're gonna get kicked out of Disneyland. You can't do it. But then in Shanghai Disneyland, they do it to you, so that means you can do it to them. That's the thing.
I just don't want to like make you shank me in line or something.
I am not going to shank you. I mean, if you go around shanking other people in line, yeah, I'm going to shank you in line. That's fine. But then if you don't shank people, I'm not going to shank you. That's not how it works.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's not how it works. Don't think of me that kind of person. But yeah, that's the only reason why I was able to stay throughout the whole day of Shanghai Disneyland. I would not have been able to handle it. I would have got so stressed out because the people there are so freaking rude. But yeah, I got to beat people up. I got to accidentally hurt people. So it really made my day.
Anyway,
yeah.
Okay, I think that's just about gonna wrap up this week's stream, you guys.
Matterhorn Matt and the Matterhorn Mondays does not endorse anything that Kris with a K has said.
Yes, thank you, Alex. But yeah,
this is probably my last episode now. Okay.
Okay. Anyways, thank you all for listening this far into the show. If you are listening this far into the show, I apologize greatly.
What do you mean apologize?
This stream is now demonetized, says T Will. Okay, but yeah. Thank you all for watching this week's episode of Matterhorn Mondays. We hope you all had an amazing time laughing along with us, laughing along at Kris and Alex and me, of course. We're all just some big goofs just doing a podcast. But yeah, it really means a lot to us that you guys are here. Next week, I have a surprise for you guys next week on the stream, to whoever shows up. I have a temporary tattoo here from Olive Garden that I will be applying to my forearm live on the show for you guys.
Is it a breadstick one?
Yeah, here, I'll show it up. Let me make sure it's in focus. I'll hold it up here for this to the screen so everyone can see what it looks like. It's a breadstick. Breadstick, it's backwards. It says Breadsticks Friends Forever. Breadstick Friends Forever, and it's BFF.
Wait, so what? So shouldn't you have two of them so you can identify who your BFF is?
Oh, that's a good point. I might actually have a second one. I don't know. I'll have to look around. But yeah, I will be applying this this temporary tattoo live on stream next week. And I also have an Olive Garden breadstick air freshener that I will be opening live on stream, just to see what it smells like, to see if it really smells like breadsticks. But yeah, so that's that. Anyways, we hope you all enjoyed listening to this week's stream. Yeah, definitely comment down below your thoughts on everything we talked about, whether it be Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway or your thoughts on screens in the parks, how they can be improved, how good of a job you think Disney's doing when it comes to screens in their attractions. But let's see, I think that's everything. I always feel like I'm forgetting to mention something. But definitely go subscribe to Kris on YouTube. I'm sure you all are already subscribed to him. LMGVids, of course. Let's see, Alex as well. Alex makes amazing vlogs as well. And definitely comment down below what days you guys would think will be good for the meetup in December. I'm gonna be posting. I'm definitely gonna be posting like a little update video later on in the week to to I guess announce the official date. Of course, you guys can, if you see me in the parks, you can always just come up to me and say hi. But it's different when we have all of us together meeting up. Excuse me. But
bless you.
Thank you. But again, thank you all for listening to this week's show. You can find this on iTunes and now newly available on Spotify if you guys are into Spotify. If you guys prefer it over Apple. But yeah, that's gonna wrap up this week's show. Thank you, Kris. Thank you, Alex, for joining today, joining the stream today, joining the show today. Yeah, thank you all for watching. And
You're welcome.
well, do you guys have any closing things you'd like to say to the people?
Don't be polite to people when you go to Shanghai Disneyland. Just be yourself.
Just be yourself. Okay, wise words. Alex, what about you? Do you have anything you'd like to say?
Avoid Kris at all costs.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyways, thank you all for watching. And as always, have a great big beautiful tomorrow.